Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for Friday, October 6, 2023. Bitcoin and Ethereum still need to prove themselves if we will see that leading diagonal first wave or if we see the ABC ABC higher completed with a impulse lower before we go really into our bull market, because we're still, for example, on Bitcoin below the 200-day moving average, and Ethereum has been declining this week. So there's still no proof yet, and they have to prove themselves for the bullish case. The bullish case, definitely for Bitcoin, remains preferred. Mara, Riot, and GBTC, ETHE are still on track for our bullish case. So let's review the charts and show you what we got. This is our big picture overview with a minimum upside target of 106,000 for Bitcoin by the end of 2025, unless we go below last year's low. Also, combining the phases of Bitcoin over a 4-year period with its logarithmic growth curve points to almost 200,000 plus. So there is definitely a lot of upside potential. And remember, all these models are wrong till proven right. And so far, they've been right all the time. But there's no guarantee, of course. But it looks good. The burden of proof is still within the bearish camp. They have to prove that they're right. And so far, the bulls are correct. Last but not least, also, of course, here, the 9.6 million % increase from important lows made 2011 and 12, I believe it was, pointing to 103 to 210,000, which of course matches very well with what we're seeing here, which matches very well with seeing here. So bigger picture-wise, Bitcoin remains bullish. End of story. Elliott Wave-wise as well, we should have completed either major 4 or cycle 4 and are now in a new bull run. That remains the same. It's just a question of, are we instantly going bull running higher, or are we going to dip first and then running higher, with immediately running higher the preferred path? So I'm going to start off with the mining companies for once. And I think we have a good argument that we have completed the correction for Riot. A strong candle today. Again, all this positive divergence is finally kicking in. It's actually double positive divergence at Wednesday's low. Fell a little bit short of the ideal wave 5 target zone, but technically enough. Then we have this completed expanding ending diagonal. Again, we need to break back above Monday's high, about $11, to give us a good first sign that the low is in place, because then we have a higher high. Right now, since July, all we've done is a lower high and lower lows. All right, here's your low, here's your high. Okay, here's your low, here's your high, low, high, low, high. So we need to break that pattern. Once we do that, again, expect at the minimum, I would say $17 plus or minus 2. That's a bounce zone. Then we can see again if this wave 2 wants to subdivide or not. Please be aware of all this positive divergence developing on the MACD, the RSI, money flow. The latter is really important because liquidity drives markets. And so far, I think the wave counts since last week, that when we cleaned it up and adjusted it, has been working pretty well. So I like it. I remain bullish on Riot. Mara, also here, we bottomed right here at 161.8% extension. We should be on our way to about 10.5 plus or minus $1 for this wave 4. If we go above, I would say $14, then it is a serious sign. Low is already in place, and this larger ABC is off the table. Then we did indeed bottom in December, and then this was a wave 1, similar to Riot. So for now, upside is preferred to at least 10.5. Above 14, we're going to go higher. I would like to see it go to 10.5, maybe 10-ish for this resistance zone, and then break lower to about 4.5 plus or minus $1, potentially below $3. But this would be a nice 5S1 and a failed, I would say, 5th wave. All right, that would not surprise me. But so far, so good. Everything is on track with this updated new wave count. Also here, all the positive divergence is finally kicking in. And I think we can hold this week's low here right at 161.8 and on our way here. So there is about 25% upside potential, nothing to sniff at for the shorter term traders. And this is GBTC, one of the alternative wave counts, and it's really starting to push itself to the brink of extinction. So I'm not liking it too much because of the strength we're seeing in GBTC, with price above the 200-day, the 50-day, above the 10-day, and the 20-day. And as you can see here on the left-hand side, the 10 is above the 20, which is above the 50, which is above the 200-day, which are now all above the cloud. So is price. So it's a 100% bullish chart. So it is preferred to have a bullish resolution to the price action from an Elliott Wave perspective. And this is the A1212 setup as shown here. Okay. This green one can also be a red one. It's fine. For now, again, we said if we break here above $20, this level here, I believe it was $20-ish, we're going to go to 21. So far, so good. Above 21, we'll target almost 22, and the bull run will continue. The price action, again, has been less than ideal ever since the July high. Lots of overlap, but it also tells us it is most likely corrective. And we remain simply bullish on GBTC unless we break below the September low. Right? That is our line in the set. We cannot break below the September low. If we do that, then I think we have to reassess what we're tracking. But so far, I think our bullish point of view has been correct over the last couple of days. So we remain bullish. Similarly for ETHE, still hasn't proven itself yet because we have no breakout. We're not even above 12, let alone above 12.75. But we continues to fail to go lower. Okay. So again, the September low here remains the line of descent. And preferably we have this 1-2 setup in place. Okay. Not this one, I believe. Sorry, not this one either. Where is it? This one, sorry. We have this one in place. Then we bottomed here for wave 2 already in August, 1-2. Very ugly price action. But this looks pretty good. We're back above the cloud, back above the 10, the 20, etc. So also this chart continues to improve. So I like it. So this is the preferred wave count, the 1-2-1-2 setup. How we're doing on Ethereum? Well, Ethereum has been sliding lower this week. So it still can be this ABC. There's no reason it cannot be, but we do need to break below 1565, I believe it is, to confirm. And then, of course, below 1525, that we're going to go to 1200. If we don't, and we break higher, we need to break, of course, back above. So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Sunday, Saturday's high, I believe, was Sunday, Saturday's high at around 1765. We break above it, and then I'm in the camp of this leading diagonal first wave. Okay, so we did bottom here, right in this ideal blue wave B of orange wave 3. So again, not super clear yet on Ethereum. It still needs to prove itself. I need to see it at least back above 1675, then back above 1765, I believe it is, or 1760. Then I'm in the camp of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't see it just yet. Okay, so it's still possible for this to fit itself in. And that's the unfortunate nature where we currently are in. It's still this early phase, the accumulation phase of the cryptocurrencies. So we'll see a lot of this overlap where we're not very certain on where we exactly are in the wave count. And the impulse higher is, of course, much easier, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we know 3, 4, and 3, 4 are to come. But all this ABC's overlapping price action, it matches the accumulation phase for the long term, right? Over the next 2 years, it is fine if you have about, I would say, $400 downside versus $5,000 upside. Right? That's your risk versus your reward with a long-term perspective. So I can't discern just yet. I must admit, though, that so far Bitcoin is still behaving as a potential ending, a leading diagonal first wave. We do hold this week's lows, but we need to break above the 200-day moving average, which remains stiff resistance so far. There was resistance here, and resistance yesterday. So if we close above it, as I stated yesterday, that'd be a good sign. Then I'm in the 345 camp, and then I'm also going to go into the 345 camp for Ethereum, because most of the time Ethereum will go where Bitcoin leads. The alternative is then, of course, simply this larger ABC, which can still go to about 2950, okay, 29,500, I mean. But it would start to look a little bit odd and a little bit favor than the bulls, okay? That is really what I'm seeing right now. So far, we bottomed pretty much where we should have. Filled a little bit here. I would have liked to see about $8 for Riot, but we got to, I think, just about 8.75, 8.5, close enough. Please remember always when we're starting to wrap up these final fourth and fifth waves, the downside risk versus the upside reward. Morale looks good here, 10.5, above 14, and I would start to consider the lows already in place. And then I'll be definitely looking into the 80s plus. GBTC, preferably not corrective, but preferably in a new impulse, continues to move higher. It's a good looking chart. ETHE, also preferably bullish and not bearish because it fails to break down. So also this one looks good, but again, it has some work to do. It needs to break at least above $12. And Ethereum, that one is still the most between a rock and a hard place, the one that needs to prove itself the most. Can still easily do this ABC lower. Well, that would be then an impulse lower after an ABC higher. Okay, this looks loud and clear as an ABC. But we cannot take away the fact that we did bottom for this ideal wave B here, and then we rip higher. I need to see breakouts though. 1675 is first place, and then 1765. So definitely Ethereum needs to prove itself. Bitcoin is not completely out of the woods either, but it starts to look better. Okay, it starts to look better, but I want to see it above the 200-day moving average. It is trying to close above the Ichimoku cloud. That's a good sign, as you can see. Okay, it's trying, but it needs to close above the 200-day. That'd be fantastic. That increases the odds we'll see this 3, 4, and 5 as shown. If not, and we of course utterly fail, we go below this week's lows and definitely go below the September low here, then the B wave low. I'm going to look here for about 21,700. That's all I have for this week. Not much has happened. I must say, if we look here at the last couple of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over the last 6 days, we haven't gone anywhere, and that tends to happen during the accumulation phase. Remember the bigger picture, what we are looking for, that remains on the chart. Even if we go to 1200, even if we go to 21,700, I remain long-term bullish on cryptos, but I think we're more in an immediate bull market than first the dip and then the rip, okay? Immediate meaning we're already in this wave 3 and the upside targets are on the charts. Take care, trade safe, catch you all next week.